I'm Helen, and I'm a targeted individual.
My name is Tanya. I am 58 years old, and I am a targeted individual.
Hi, I'm Richard Lighthouse, and I am a targeted individual.
My name is Jean Marie Kilcourse. I am a targeted individual.
My name is Tranquility, and I'm a targeted individual.
Targeted individuals, or simply TIs, are self-identified victims that believe they are at the center of a vast, covert surveillance and harassment campaign. They believe government agencies, such as the CIA, DARPA, the NSA, Department of Homeland Security, law enforcement, secret societies, and/or other shadowy organizations are orchestrating a continuous, coordinated effort to monitor and torment them. These black-budget operations are designed to infiltrate every aspect of a person's existence, their work, their home, even their own thoughts. They believe they are subjected to a wide array of constant psychological and physical torment. Claims of being attacked by directed energy weapons, which are long-ranged weapons that don't use a solid projectile, but rather concentrated energy, such as lasers, microwaves, particle beams, and sound beams, to damage a target. Weapons that have the capacity to cause brain damage and beam voices and frequencies directly into the heads of a selected person. This audio is completely inaudible to anyone else. It's referred to as voice-to-skull technology, a full-on schizophrenic simulator.
Synthetic telepathy.
Many TIs believe they've been surgically implanted with microscopic tracking or control devices inserted during medical or dental procedures, which allow perpetrators the ability to remotely inflict pain, influence emotions and thoughts, and even manipulate bodily movement. This form of intrusion is sometimes called remote neural monitoring. Targeted individuals say they are surveilled 24/7. Their devices are hacked, their phone calls are recorded, and their home is bugged with listening and recording devices. TIs are not only monitored, but tortured by paid actors that follow them on highways, grocery stores, their workplace, and every facet of their lives. Paid actors have a clear agenda to manipulate coincidence, to make the mundane feel malicious, and the goal is simple: provoke a reaction. It's often subtle. A perpetrator may appear in a parking lot, cough at just the right moment, laugh under their breath, make certain hand gestures, or repeat certain words or phrases that hold specific meaning to the targeted individual. Perpetrators will find TIs in traffic just to cut them off. They'll honk their horns as they drive by the TI's home. Sometimes, they'll pull into their driveway late at night, headlights pointed toward their window, and just wait a while before leaving. Little things that most people would never think twice about. But for a targeted individual, these unknowing coincidences happen every single day, often at the same time, in the same places, involving the same people. This organized manipulation of everyday life is known as street theater. Actors involved in street theater are called gang stalkers.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Sometimes you just have to connect to public Wi-Fi. In fact, I recently had to at a concert that I went to. But connecting to public Wi-Fi leaves you vulnerable to data theft. Anyone with the know-how can breach your network and see what you're doing, read what you send, and even steal your passwords, all without you ever knowing it. It's nice to not worry about that, which is why I've been an avid user of ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN creates an encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. It masks your IP address, making your browsing activity invisible to third parties. So no one, not hackers, not your internet service provider, not even the network owner, can see what you're doing or where you're connected from. You can change your virtual location to almost anywhere in the world to access videos, archives, or documentaries that are blocked in your country, which for me is pretty useful when researching disturbing content or the occasional Netflix binge. I recently got to watch Total Recall on Netflix by changing my location to the United Kingdom. ExpressVPN only invests in premium servers, making the connection quicker than the competitors. It runs quietly in the background, fast, secure, and invisible. And you can connect up to 14 devices simultaneously with one subscription. I value my privacy, and I know that you do too. Find out how you can get 4 extra months free by scanning the QR code on screen or by clicking the link in my description box, or head on over to expressvpn.com/cryptidcandy. Once again, that's expressvpn.com/cryptidcandy. You won't be disappointed. Thank you, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring this video. Street theater and directed energy weapons are part of a bigger operation. Gang stalkers also unleash what's known as noise campaigns. Hidden speakers are allegedly placed around a targeted individual's home, behind fences, under cars, even inside walls. These speakers play sounds that mimic real life. Dogs barking, babies crying, roosters crowing. Not constantly, but just enough, and just late enough to keep the victim on edge. Sometimes, the noise comes from next door. A new neighbor who blasts loud music at 3 a.m. A car or motorcycle engine excessively revving in a nearby driveway. Calculated acts designed to erode peace of mind. Helicopters may circle overhead for hours, hovering over ATI's home without purpose. Police checkpoints inconveniently set up right by their house, causing traffic to build on ATI's street. One of the more invasive forms of harassment is what targeted individuals call black bag operations. According to these reports, gang stalkers break into the victim's home while they're away, not to steal but to disturb. A lamp may be moved a couple of inches to the left, furniture subtly rearranged. A single foreign object may be placed and left on a table. The message? We were here. There are said to be 2 levels of gang stalkers. The first level, street level. They are the visible ones, the paid actors of street theater, the cars on the road, the noisy neighbors. The second level are called control panel gang stalkers, operating from an undisclosed location, using advanced surveillance tools, directed energy weapons, remote neural monitoring, and devices that allow them to intercept phone and internet connections. Ever think of something and moments later it shows up on your feed? To most people, that's just an algorithm. But to targeted individuals, it's proof of something deeper. They believe these control panel gang stalkers can access their thoughts in real time, listening, observing, cataloging every fear, every insecurity. Something that TIs refer to as remote thought surveillance. That information is then fed from control panel gang stalkers back to street level gang stalkers who weaponize it, using private thoughts as triggers in public situations. Every detail, every gesture, every coincidence is meant to be noticed. Perpetrators want the victims to see them, to recognize patterns. They want the victims to connect the dots. They'll leave hints to help targeted individuals realize what's happening. Gang stalkers will drive matching cars, wear the same color, or repeat something the TI said in private conversation. Street-level gang stalkers use an app that allows them to communicate with each other and track the targeted individual. Through this app, they coordinate their harassment. Entire events may be staged just to provoke emotional reactions. Reactions that intend to paint the targeted individual as paranoid, unstable, or dangerous. A full-on character assassination. Soon, rumors start to spread. Among neighbors, family, even employers. You see, while a perpetrator's short-term goal is to provoke a reaction, their long-term goal is to bring the targeted individual to complete mental and economic destabilization. These full-scale harassment campaigns are meant to drive the targeted individual insane and to an eventual breaking point. Targeted individuals are aware that all of this sounds unreasonable and that these claims sound hard to believe. When a TI seeks help, they're often dismissed as paranoid or schizophrenic, further isolating them from any form of support. They withdraw further from society and their families, trapped in a cycle of doubt, fear, and obsession, convinced that they're being watched every hour of every day by people who never let them rest and never let them forget. But why? Well,
alright, look, TikTok. This is my first vid. I had made a video before, but they took my shit down. This is solely about being gang stalked and being targeted. If you look it up, about gang stalking, we are targeted by the FBI, the military, the CIA. We are being monitored 24/7. This shit my real life. Like, my name is Jordan Johnson. I played at Tennessee Tech, Division I basketball. You can look me up. I'm not no fucking bot, bro. This is my real life.
We just covered some of the core beliefs held by targeted individuals. But there are still entire networks of sub-beliefs and offshoot communities. Some self-identified TIs call themselves chosen ones, interpreting gang stalking not as a government operation, but as spiritual warfare, fighting witchcraft and demonic attacks. Others believe the harassment is carried out by demonic interdimensional beings, or by alien and reptilian entities allegedly controlling world governments. Those branches are large enough to warrant their own episode, so we'll get to that in another video. But for now, let's stay with the main question. If, hypothetically, covert government operations like the one TIs describe did exist, how would someone be chosen as a target? Many TIs say they were targeted because they were military, government, or corporate whistleblowers. Others claim that being a journalist can put you on the list. Some believe their online activity triggered it, posting anti-government or conspiratorial content, or even just researching the wrong topics. Others say they inherited it, a generational curse tied to their bloodline, and a portion believe they were simply chosen at random, selected as guinea pigs through sheer bad luck. But no matter the reason, the next question is always the same. Why? Why would such an operation exist? Again, hypothetically, if a covert program were trying to destabilize civilians, why go through the trouble of a massive 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation? If the goal was simply to eliminate someone, there are much easier, less expensive, and quieter ways than hiring teams of actors, deploying advanced surveillance, or using experimental directed energy weapons. Why stage an entire campaign instead of taking a more direct approach? TIs offer a few main explanations.
V2k, voice to skull. I will find your signal, and I will record you.
One of the most common beliefs is that gang stalking is simply an extension of MKUltra. I'm sure you've at least heard of MKUltra. Most people know it was a covert CIA operation that aimed to develop practical methods of brainwashing and mind control. The CIA was trying to create a Manchurian candidate, in other words, a programmable human being. Government agencies have wanted to achieve this for a long time. Early mind control efforts were initiated as early as 1942 by the Office of Strategic Services, the precursor to the CIA. In 1950, Project Bluebird, later renamed to Project Artichoke a year later, began experiments that were summarized in a CIA memo. Can we get control of an individual to the point where he would do our bidding against his will, and even against the fundamental laws of nature, such as self-preservation? They wanted to manipulate someone to the extent that a test subject would fire a weapon at someone, believing that the weapon was fully loaded, and have zero memory of doing it. MKUltra, formally initiated on April 13, 1953, was the successor to Project Bluebird and Project Artichoke. Thousands of people, men, women, children, American citizens, and foreign nationals, were experimented on without consent. Anyone could have been a target. MKUltra essentially had two steps. Step 1, completely destroy the test subject's mind. Methods to achieve this included, but were not limited to, sensory deprivation, isolation, electroshock, hypnosis, sleep deprivation, and heavy dosing of psychoactive substances like barbiturates and LSD. Lots of LSD. Step 2, brainwash. Just to give you an example of what this looked like, let's look at a technique they called psychic driving. This involved keeping a subject in a semi-comatose state for weeks or months, administering electroconvulsive therapy up to 40 times stronger than medical guidelines, then placing the test subjects in isolation, while looping recorded phrases through headphones. Phrases like, "My mother hates me," "People are against me," and "I must obey," were projected directly into the ears of test subjects hundreds of thousands of times. After that, subjects were forced into chemically induced sleep for an additional 10 days. this was only one of the methods they implemented. 149 known sub-projects were carried out, and thousands of people's lives completely destroyed. MKUltra was officially dissolved in 1973. No one knows the true extent of the experiments. Most of the documents were ordered to be destroyed, and the remaining documents are heavily redacted and intentionally very vague. The CIA promised this would never happen again. Targeted individuals believe they are proof that that promise was broken. Now, hypothetically, let's say there is a covert operation targeting millions of civilians in the way targeted individuals describe. How would government agencies even get away with this? See, back when MKUltra was taking place, people could disappear. There was no digital footprint. The CIA could, for the most part, cover it up. But how would they do that these days? Every parking lot has a surveillance camera. Everyone has a phone in their pocket. Technology has come a long way. They would never get away with MKUltra now. Well, technology has come a long way, hasn't it? Government agencies like DARPA have developed directed energy weapons that use electromagnetic frequencies to damage a target remotely. So hypothetically, 100% hypothetically, if there was some kind of black budget operation like MKUltra going on, they wouldn't snatch you up on the street. They wouldn't have to. With DARPA technology, you could be a test subject in the comfort of your own home.
Psychotronics is the, let me pick these words very carefully, is the long range modification or manipulation of behavior by electronic, specifically radio means. In other words, you use electromagnetic energy, radio transmissions, to affect human behavior at a distance.
It sounds like something straight out of a 1980 sci-fi movie, but the technology I'm about to speak about is real. Targeted individuals claim to hear voices, clicks, static, or other audio inside of their head. They believe this is the result of a psychotronic weapon that they refer to as voice-to-skull technology, or V2k. Now, I'm not saying that voice-to-skull technology is secretly being used on anyone, but the technology to achieve V2k is possible, and has been for a very long time. In 1961, Alan H. Frey conducted experiments in which he was able to transmit sounds into people's heads, sounds that bypassed the ears and were inaudible to anyone else. It's called the microwave auditory effect, or the Frey effect. It involves a human perception of sounds induced by pulsed or modulated radio frequencies. To put it simply, the intended sounds are able to be generated inside a human head without the need of any electronic receiver. In his experiments, test subjects were able to hear pulsed microwave radiation, even from hundreds of feet away. The subjects heard a buzz, clicking, hiss, or knocking, not with their ears, all inside of their own head. Some describe the experience similar to the way you'd hear your own voice inside of your mind. But Alan Frey took this a step further. He discovered that if he played with the transmitter parameters, he could even induce the quote, perception of severe buffeting of the head. In other words, the sensation of being violently struck. He could also get test subjects to feel a sensation of pins and needles, all remotely. Keep in mind that this was all possible in the early 1960s, and the idea of weaponizing this effect and electromagnetic frequencies in general has not only evolved, but become a priority, specifically for military purposes. They're called Directed Energy Weapons, or DEWs. I would love to do a full 30 minutes on this, so let me know in the comments if you want a full deep dive. For now, I won't get too technical, but it's important you understand this. Electromagnetic frequencies can be weaponized, and the potential is limitless. Sound waves can heat up human tissue. It can cause bubbles to form in the tissue, a process called cavitation. DEWs weaponize microwave or radio frequencies, sounds below human hearing like infrasound, sounds above human hearing like ultrasound, and anything in between. One of the most popular non-lethal examples of a directed energy weapon is the active denial system. It was developed by the US Air Force and Raytheon for riot control. The active denial system heats the water in human skin, causing incapacitating pain. Again, non-lethal, though it might cause irreversible damage to the eyes. Some directed energy weapons are designed for more damage, and if the right parameters are adjusted, more damage is possible. But it's not just about physical destruction. Weaponizing electromagnetic frequencies is also about understanding how these frequencies affect human behavior.
They can manipulate behavior at a distance. For example, they could create a riot, which you couldn't stop in this auditorium right out of that transmitter. What they do, they broadcast the signal to create a riot. You broadcast 11 hertz, 11 cycles per second, beamed into this room. And it would, without you knowing, you would start to get uncomfortable, then upset, and then I presume start getting a little active, like throwing the plants around or breaking up chairs.
Targeted individuals often claim that they are attacked by extremely low frequencies, or ELFs. These are frequencies anywhere from 3 to 30 hertz. There is real data that shows that extremely low frequencies at high amounts could be damaging. One of the most dangerous frequencies to humans is at about 7 hertz. 7 hertz is close to the natural resonant frequencies of most human organs. With enough sound pressure and long enough exposure, 7 hertz could have a negative effect on the central nervous system and can even cause organ rupture or worse. Humans technically can't hear sounds below 20 hertz, but these sounds can still be perceived, which is why scary movies utilize sounds below 20 hertz to induce physical discomfort, anxiety, paranoia, and primal fear. Other frequencies can even make you feel drowsy or even alert, and these effects have been studied for a very long time. And this is important. Just because this technology is possible and some of these weapons have the potential to exist, it doesn't mean government agencies are secretly using this technology on civilians. But targeted individuals believe that they are the guinea pigs for these weapons. Some self-proclaimed targeted individuals have gone on to do the unthinkable and pointed blame at these technologies as the reason that they reached their breaking point.
The Associated Press is reporting that the Navy Yard shooter down in Washington, D.C., Aaron Alexis, was apparently treated for serious mental issues by the VA because he heard voices, among other things.
Sources tell ABC News Alexis etched the words "better off this way" and "my ELF" on the stock of the Remington 870 pump-action shotgun.
The FBI shares a warning. A man wanted for a quadruple homicide in Ohio. A manhunt is underway for the man, 38-year-old Stephen Marlowe.
If I can help another targeted individual fight back against telepathy, then the will be well worth it. To any TIs who read this, understand that your attackers use the form of ventriloquism I describe in the paper to move your thoughts, but your thoughts can also move their mouths.
The majority of TIs are not dangerous. Most are simply afraid. Unfortunately, they really do feel alone, and these beliefs do take a toll on them mentally. Many turn to the internet. They record videos, document perceived harassment, and join the thousands of online communities made up of hundreds of thousands of members who share and reinforce the same worldview. It's important to understand the mind of a targeted individual. The context is necessary, because without it, the following videos would make very little to no sense.
That's from being targeted with frequencies in my sleep.
Bonds. So that's what these people are doing here. So this is what I want to show you. All right. There we go. So that's criminals. Criminals are going to leave now because I don't feel safe.
They put cameras under the door and it goes side to side. These people are nuts.
Just trying to take a break and eat my Subway outside. It's, my usual 1 a.m. and everything is closed. My gang stalker just pulled up here in the middle of a empty place where everything is closed and just parked right next to my table just to be irritating.
So here my stalkers parked for my house. They came out to do the noise campaign. Okay. Okay.
There's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong.
They were at my house earlier running their engines.
Film them, stick them up online. Here we go. We get that cough.
There you go. Active surveillance.
For the sake of privacy, I won't mention any social media tags. Even though I've come across multiple videos of TIs exposing really private information about themselves on public social media profiles, details like their entire home address.
And this is at 101 West Road in Arcadia, 907, located next to La Casita's apartments. You can Google Maps it, Google Earth it, or Yelp it to see where we live.
TIs interpret a lot of things as harassment.
It's October the 30th, 2025, and I have a hacker blocking texting from my iPhone while I'm outside in my patio.
And to some TIs, gang stalkers could be anyone, including children.
Okay, so as you can see on my walk, these are people that have been involved in my gang stalking. Yes, they use kids too. This guy was doing witchcraft. Just watch him do his thing. And that's his car. They do this anytime I come out of my home.
Dedicated TI websites and communities like targetedjustice.com have huge followings. There are countless individual accounts dedicated to documenting their perceived gang stalking experience. And these accounts also have hundreds of thousands of followers. And even their posts and videos get hundreds of thousands of likes. This is something that a lot of people believe.
April, May, I realized that actually my whole entire life was a setup. Fake family, fake friends, everyone was in on this plot.
And while targeted individuals are clearly troubled by their beliefs, it also directly affects the people around them. Many altercations are captured and posted online.
Can you stop filming us? Because just to let you know, when you do post this, it's already posted. Yeah, when you do post this on the internet, the person who's posting it, her name's Briza, and she is a regular person in this HOA who films us and who films everybody with a narrative that we're all gang stalking them. Yeah. And just to let you know. Don't touch my stuff. Just to let you know. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch me, girl. Don't touch me. Touch my stuff. Touch me, girl. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch me. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch me.
For some context, the man and the woman with their phones to the camera were neighbors of a woman named Briza. Briza uploads daily videos on Instagram and TikTok, walking around her neighborhood calling men, women, and children gang stalkers.
She has no right to record us.
You're making noise.
Yeah, because she's recording me without my consent.
You're disturbing the peace.
She's recording me without my consent.
Now, Briza did move to a new neighborhood, and she continues to record videos there, believing that gang stalkers have followed her to her new home.
Hi, my name is Briza Villarreal, and I'm a targeted individual. Right now, at my knee, my right knee, is being hit with direct energy weapons, hit by this person over there operating that machinery. So this is a fake family that's been paid to move in here, guys. And I just want you guys to get a good look at that, because these people are disgusting. These people are disgusting. Disgusting.
People are all fronting for the CIA. That's one there. You got a fat ass one over there sitting at the bus stop, and you had a one walking down the sidewalk. Let me tell you why the CIA is shadowing me like this. Because they're the obstruction to me getting a job. They're the reason that I don't have a job, because they're the ones that's actually fucking running the corporations and listening to the corporate people that say, I don't want him working at my company.
There are many homeless people on social media stating that their circumstance is due to being a targeted individual. Some claim that their job interviews are sabotaged.
I told you, if you keep following up with me, you see this circumstance I'm in right now? I'm trying not to be in this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to get a job in Oklahoma City. So today, the powers that be tried to go ahead, which is like them, to interfere with my job interview in Uptown of 23rd because I had an interview today. You know why they want to keep me out of working? Why they want to keep me like this? Because this is how they discreetly keep you homeless without physically touching you and ostracizing you out of a complete society.
Economic destabilization seems to be a very common theme with targeted individuals. Myron May, for example, was once a highly successful attorney. That was until he suddenly started believing that he was being targeted. He was active in TI Facebook communities and posted YouTube videos calmly describing his alleged gang stalking experience. His decline not only affected his career, but he would go on to open fire at Florida State University, the same school he graduated from. 3 people were wounded, and Myron May lost his life to police at the age of 31. TIs post videos documenting perceived harassment as a way to push back and expose what they believe is a hidden reality in society. But posting videos as a TI can also affect personal and professional relationships.
I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving. My bad. Be careful what you post online, fam. Be careful what you post online. I was just starting a new job. First day on the job, they recognized me. They said they don't want none of that gang stalking stuff around here. Security just escorted me off. Unbelievable, fam.
These are some of the videos he was posting prior to his termination.
Is this not the same guy? They trying to mess that up. It's like my construction job. I think we caught a gang stalker lacking. Hold on. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. 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 Hey. What is it? Yo, did he just give that guy a hand signal? Who's he talking to? Yeah, it's a tactic they use when they want to find out which apartment they're in. They think they're slick. Unbelievable. I'm just trying to have a swim at the pool. You can't shake these gang stalkers for nothing. See him there? He's trying to be low-key.
In the comments section, you'll find many agreeing with targeted individuals and sharing their own experiences with gang stalking. But on the other hand, many criticize TIs for the material they post, blaming their behavior on paranoid schizophrenia, narcissistic personality disorders, or substances. And of course, TI videos also attract trolls, and even video responses from people claiming to be gang stalkers themselves.
I have to share, and I'm putting my life in danger by doing it. I don't feel good about this. I feel guilty as hell. This is why I'm sharing it. But there's a 3-letter agency. The letters are I, A, and C. I'm sure you can do the math on that. And I'm sure you've heard the term G-stalked or getting followed. I get paid $10,000 a month by that organization to follow people. All I have to do is follow one person a day, make sure they see me, take a video, send it in. I have a tracking app on my phone. I can see at least 100 people a day. And I get to pick who I follow. All I have to do is make sure they see me and send in the video. That's it. Just doing some creepy shit. Share this, like this, send it to your homies. If you called someone crazy for getting G-stalked, sorry, dude. It's real.
There are people who believe this is a genuine admission, but I personally don't buy it. But there is another video making the rounds on social media, and this one is a little strange.
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do. How? You set them up. You create the situation to where they have no choice but to act on their impulse. And once they act on that impulse, then we call that entrapment. We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens, right?
And how does that happen?
You put a post out there, or you have someone fake profile say something that triggers, that we know is going to trigger them, right? Like, we already know your history. If we're to that point, we already know everything about it. So we're like, oh, this will piss them off. Sometimes you like to fuse and just wait for it to follow. Nothing like putting out a fake social media thing to like really get people mad. Mm-hmm. Post fake news. Sometimes it's not fake. It's embellished a little bit.
There is a big difference between a CIA agent and a CIA contracting officer. A CIA contracting officer is not actually in the field. They're not involved in planning a mission and have no say in making intelligence decisions. I would take this video with a huge grain of salt, but I'll look into it a little deeper. for another video.
The targeted are now targeting. People have decided it's time to crack the whip on organized gang stalking and community harassment. We will
It's October the 5th, 2025, and getting targeted with frequencies in the back while sitting on the toilet, most likely ascending from apartment 9. And as you can see, frequencies are emitting from my freezer door, and my knees are getting targeted from that. My head is getting, in bed, is getting targeted from this outlet. And this is my scalp, burnt and swollen from being targeted with frequencies all day.
Pictures and videos that show the aftermath of alleged attacks by directed energy weapons and or other chemical weapons are pervasive. Most of the pictures of skin burned by alleged microwave technology is too graphic to show here. But these pictures and videos do show that something is wrong. You'll find videos of what seems to be muscle spasms that claim to be proof of implants. In fact, the site targetedjustice.com claims that a simple $15 megaphone detects electromagnetic fields in the body and can even locate implants. Targetedjustice.com claims this can't be faked, and the video is interesting, to say the least.
So we're going to see that there is no response in most of the spots on her head. But the implants themselves, when we hit them, you can hear it trying to come in. There it goes. Well, there's clearly one there. There it is. So, and what we find is there's two locations in the x-rays, just like the detector is detecting these implants.
Others use EMF detectors. If you weren't aware, tinfoil actually protects against some types of electromagnetic radiation, which is where the stereotype of tinfoil hats and conspiracies come from. Some claim they can't sleep due to directed energy weapon attacks, so they cover their entire bedroom in tinfoil.
This is to show how I've slept last night. These are the shielding panels with which I blockaded the door, 12 layers of aluminium. This I had to keep over myself. As you know, I sleep in this metal bunker here. Okay, so this is where I sleep, and you can see the bin bags, but they're entirely filled, absolutely filled with metal, trying to protect myself.
Other videos claim to show visual proof of attacks by directed energy weapons.
I'm going directed energy weapon shots to the head. They're stronger right now to the back.
I always imagine that there's someone out there who doesn't know about gang stalking or who's never heard about targeted individuals, so I kept it pretty basic, pretty surface level in this video, but I really can go so much deeper. So if this video does well and you guys like it, I will. I've gotten a few targeted individuals that reached out to me and shared their story, so I have a few really unique cases lined up, but I'm opening up my email to anybody. If you identify as a targeted individual and want your story heard, email me. Link is going to be in the description like you already know. Now, preferably with some picture or video evidence. I also had some targeted individuals that don't like that I used the word alleged in the video. But just to give you an example, I dropped my last gang stalking video about a year ago now. And there is someone that, I guess from that video that I dropped, has emailed me once every couple of hours for about a year now, claiming that I'm gang stalking them. And I don't see it because it just goes to spam. But every now and then I'll get curious and just go look. And yeah, he's still emailing me. So point is that there's a lot of susceptible people out there. And I can't just say like something that could potentially be happening to someone is, yeah, that's for sure happening to you if you're feeling that it's like, it's not responsible. And it's YouTube. I think that really is the answer right there. It's YouTube. Support me on Patreon if you want. I'm actually going to share a story on Patreon. It's going to be just a fun little video, but I'm going to talk about how I had some weird things happen to me while I was researching the first gang stalking video. And I'm the kind of person that like, I'm really hard to phase, not because I'm like tough, but because I'm just like so oblivious. Like they could do full street theater on me and I wouldn't notice probably. So that if you want to hear that story, it's going to be on Patreon. Check out my Discord server, the Hatman Files. Everything is going to be in the description, so check it out there. Also, shout out to ExpressVPN. You know what? Get ExpressVPN, guys. Like, get it just so like I can look good. Like, oh, you know what? We should sponsor this guy again. Like, you know, type of thing. If you made it all the way here, thank you for spending your time with me. But as always, I will see you in the next one.